You there, Chief?
I don't see him in here yet.
Should I give him a call?
Yeah, he hasn't joined yet.
Okay.
Hey, can you guys hear me down there?
There we go.
We can hear you now. Can
Okay,
you hear us?
yeah, I can hear you guys. I had to go on my phone because my work computer won't let me use Zoom, so I'm on my phone.
Good thing. Okay, we're just gonna call this meeting here to order then. So I call this a special closed council meeting to order here this Wednesday, November the 1st, 9:02. And it requires unanimous support of council to waive the rights of notice per section
127 for the community charter.
of the community charter. Do I have a mover? Moved by Councillor Facio, seconded by Councillor Bidell. Discussion.
Is this an emergency meeting?
This is, yes,
Have you declared an emergency?
yes, you will hear that, yes.
All right, that's the reason for notice. So this motion is just to waive notice, not to exclude the public.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
So it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion on that? Seeing none, call the question. All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. We waive that right. So now pursuant to section of the charter.
There's not really a subsection of 90, subsection 1 that this falls under in order to close the meeting. It would be recommended that the meeting be open.
Yeah, absolutely. Then if there's no section under the charter, then the meeting must remain open. So,
Yeah.
okay, so I call this meeting here then, again, Wednesday, November the 1st, 9:03, to order and to acknowledge we're on the traditional territory of Chehalis. So the purpose of this meeting here, this emergency meeting today is this morning here is I have exercised the powers as the chief executive officer and the mayor to call a local state of an emergency. The declaration has been signed and has it officially been on its way?
I have a copy here, but we've not posted it anywhere. It's just signed this morning.
Okay,
Mhm.
so that declaration will go out. If council wish to just have a look at it. This meeting is just for council's information. And if they have any questions, we can just talk about it. So it's an informal meeting here. Is there any councillors that want to see the declaration? No, seeing none.
Is that going to be posted in the usual posting places, the declaration then?
That's a good
So the
question.
public knows?
Oh, absolutely, this will be going to the public. I guess it's got to go to the ministers.
You'll have to go to the ministry,
The
yes.
ministry first, and then I believe the next step is to,
If I'm not mistaken, now forgive me, I'm not really familiar with this full process, but I believe it gets sent to the minister and then the minister approves.
yes.
Yes.
And then after that, then we will post.
So that'll be the Minister Kang in Victoria, is that correct?
NBC.
Yeah, it would be Minister Ma.
NBC.
Yeah, Emergency Management and Climate Readiness.
Right.
It's EMC.
Okay. Emergency Management Minister. Okay, thank you. And that'll be done by email, I suppose. So
Correct.
it's quick.
I'll call in advance and then we'll follow.
Do we have to wait for her to
I think Mayor Wood is looking at the.
I'm just reading it now.
Legislation.
approve the state of emergency, or do we just carry on?
Again, I'm not familiar with the process. I'll have to,
Says immediately after making a declaration of the state of local emergency, the local authority or the head of the local authority, as the case may be, must forward a copy of declaration to the minister and cause the details of the declaration to be published by means of communication of the local authority or head of the local authority, as the case may be, considers most likely to make the contents of the declaration known to the population of the affected area.
There you go.
So that can be done.
That has been answered.
So it doesn't sound like it requires any approval from Victoria, it's simply notifying them.
Your
worship,
It-
To be
other
recognized.
councils here who might like to speak.
Council.
Mr. Allen, is it something?
This is an informal meeting, so feel free and
That's not the point.
go ahead, Councillor Vidal.
Thank you, Mayor Wood.
Sorry.
Through you to our staff, I would like a situation update as of this morning, please.
That's gonna follow.
We're
that
gonna
will-
get that.
I'm asking the question now, Mayor Wood.
Yeah, Mr. Allen, please keep out of it.
I have the floor, Mr.
The mayor
Allen.
has the floor.
I have the
Councilor-
floor. I
Councilor-
have been
Councillor,
recognized.
Councillor Allen, you're out of order.
Thank
please.
you.
Staff are not to
Tyson,
respond. Staff are not to respond. Thank you.
I need a
Councilor-
situation
Councilor-
report from this morning.
Councillor Vidal, it is gonna come very quickly.
I would like it now, Mayor Wood. Thank you.
Let's go through the process. Councillor Jackson?
Mr. Worship, I'm opposed to this until such time as I know there's a reason. As of right now, there is no reason. Our system is running very well. We have very competent staff. I don't think any of us on council are qualified to make this kind of decision that we don't know anything about. I know he's gonna say he knows everything about it. We know that.
Just keep your words.
Everything. I know, but I'm tired of it.
Keep your words. Are you? You're finished, Councillor Jackson?
I'm finished.
Thank you.
What's the point?
Councillor Allen, please keep your comments to yourself.
I would like to hear the mayor's report on the state of emergency directly from the mayor and chief executive officer. And if we have a little patience, we will hear that. And that's what I'm waiting to hear. Thank you.
Thank you. So to our corporate officer, can you read that out then, please?
Sure. So this is the declaration of state of local emergency. Whereas 2 of the 3 pumps at the water treatment facility within the jurisdiction of the village of Harrison Hot Springs have failed. And whereas the failure of 2 of the 3 pumps poses an existing or imminent threat to people and property as it impacts the availability of water for drinking and firefighting, excuse me, within the village of Harrison Hot Springs. And whereas this water treatment facility pump emergency requires prompt coordination of action or special regulation of persons or property to protect the health, safety, or welfare of people, or to limit damage to property. Now therefore, it is hereby ordered pursuant to section 12, subsection 1 of the Emergency Program Act, that a state of local emergency exists in the village of Harrison Hot Springs due to the failure of 2 of the 3 pumps at the water treatment facility and the resulting impact to the availability of water for drinking and firefighting. It is further ordered that the village of Harrison Hot Springs, its employees, servants, and agents are empowered pursuant to section 13, subsection 1 of the Emergency Program Act to do all acts and implement all procedures that are considered necessary to prevent or to alleviate the effects of the emergency. Ordered by Mayor Ed Wood this date, November 1, 2023, to remain in force for 7 days until November 8, 2023 at midnight, unless canceled by the village of Harrison Hot Springs or the minister responsible.
Thank you. So this order has been given by the mayor, and I have the full authority as the mayor to do so. Councillor Vidal, you asked for a update on the specifics. So I'll leave that. I'll ask our chief administrative officer to comment on that one, please.
Thank you, sir. I have our operations manager and our utility supervisor to be able to provide a situation update with respect to both an external pump and a permanent pump that will be installed in place of the failed pumps. So over to you guys.
Thank you. So pump 1 is currently operating as normal. From September to June, we only have 1 pump that's required to operate. Now, with respect to our backup pumps, pump number 2 has been sent to Beaver Electrical, and there is a replacement motor available in Burnaby. So we'll have that coming in a couple days, they had said. In the meantime, we have an external pump that's been ordered. It will show up at 2 o'clock today. So from 2 o'clock today, we'll have a backup pump, and in a couple days, we'll have another pump number 2 will be back in operations. So in 2 days, we'll have 3 pumps available. And then we also have, so in that we have contacted Fraser Health just to give an update on our situation. And there's always a backup plan, which is straight bypass that can happen from the beach pumps in case all 3 were down.
And if may I speak, the original before the water treatment plant was installed, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tyler, was before chlorination was required. The intake pumps used to pump directly from the intake up to the reservoir.
In the booster station, we would have, there's just a little injection pump that we would just add a little bit of chlorine.
A little, yeah,
little
okay.
bit of chlorine as a-
Okay, so that was, the original intake pumps were capable of supplying the reservoir with volume suitable enough for both potable and fire flows.
Go ahead, Councilor Vidal.
Thank you, Mayor Wood. Through you to our acting fire chief, at any time, do you feel capabilities for firefighting have been compromised?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. At this time, I don't believe there's any issues or concerns for the fire department when it comes to water resources. We have an adequate amount of water in both of our vehicles, and if need be, we can always draft from the lake if needed.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Councilor Allen?
Yeah, what's the state of the water level in our reservoir at the moment?
Full.
The reservoir is full.
Yeah, we run it between 90 and 99%.
So when we're talking about the water treatment plant, we're talking about the domestic water treatment plant, not the wastewater treatment plant, correct?
Yeah.
Which is down here.
Drinking water.
There are, is there a collector tank there that takes the lake water in, and then the 3 booster pumps are we talking about that raise it to the reservoir?
So there's 3 pumps down at the beach, which are all fine. Only one ever runs down there.
Okay.
That pumps water to the membranes. It goes through the membranes into a break tank, and then from the break tank, we have three
Lift
booster pumps, and one of them runs at a time, and that puts the water up to the reservoir. And currently, I think it runs about 5-6 hours a day.
Okay, I'm asking these questions because I think the public needs to understand a little bit about our system as well. So the water coming from the lake, 3 pumps at the lake, pump it along Hot Springs Road. Then it goes immediately through the filtration system.
Yeah.
How many microns are those filters?
Those microns are,
They're very fine.
yeah, they take out every.
Okay. And then is the chlorine added at that point?
Yeah, after it goes through the filters,
Yeah.
chlorine's added just before it gets into the break tank.
And then it goes, then there are 3 lift pumps that take the water up to the reservoir.
Yeah.
Where gravity feeds back to the village system.
Yeah.
Okay. And so all the water in the reservoir is currently chlorinated and will continue to be?
Yes.
Okay. If you have to bypass, we're down to 1 pump now, lifting the water up to the reservoir. If that fails, you can bypass the filtration system and feed the reservoir from the lakeside pumps.
There's 2 different ways that we can do it. The first one is the water still gets pumped up through the membranes and gets chlorinated.
Yeah.
Then we'll have where one of the pumps normally sits, there'll be cam locks, and that will get pumped. We'll use a pump to pump from one side to the other, so it'll still get pushed up the exact same way. It'll just be an external pump that pumps it up. If as a backup to the backup, if something failed with that, we can hook up to we have a bypass inside the plant that can go from the front of the plant, and we can hook it up to one of those cam locks, and then we can turn on the beach pumps.
Yeah.
And that would run the water straight up to the reservoir.
Mhm.
That wouldn't have
Chlorine.
would bypass the membranes, but wouldn't have chlorination. But we could just add chlorine.
Add chlorine, okay. So we're not looking at having to do a boil water advisory or anything like that. You'll always.
You know, it would have to be a boil, because even if you went down the road where you had to do the bypass,
Yeah.
that's how that's how the Harrison used to be before the membranes. You would have to put out probably an advisory, but that would be Fraser Health would give you that.
Okay,
but
thank you.
That's way down the road.
Thank you.
Further discussion, Councillor Passio?
Thank you, Mayor Wood. First of all, if I may say that with our new councillor, maybe a tour of the water plant would be a good thing for him to do, like most of us have done when we come on, just to get an idea of how it's all been, how we've improved with all the grants and that. Secondly, I personally, and this is no disrespect to you, Mr. Mayor, I personally think that this meeting could have been probably had tomorrow when we had the pumps come in, and I think 2 days you said for the pump to get fixed, the other pump was on its way, without all this going out to the public where it becomes a bit of a, people get quite concerned and frightened. Well, I don't think that's necessary, but you made the call, but that's my personal comments on that. I think it could have waited first, probably till tomorrow, till we had more input from the pump people and from our staff. They're dealing with this, not us. And from what I hear from the fire chief, he had no concerns in regards to fire safety, so that's a good thing to hear. So, but that's my comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion? Okay. Councillor Allen.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the 3 pumps I'll call them lift pumps just because they're lifting it up to the reservoir. How old are those pumps?
2015 is the current pump,
Yeah,
and the second pump was 2015. I believe the third pump was during the upgrade. I believe that was about 2019. One of the motors that failed, the pump number 2 motor, was a month old. It was replaced.
Yeah.
Because of a bearing, we replaced it, and it faulted within a month, and it's in for warranty, and it looks like it'll be warranted. So we'll have another pump.
I'm just asking because I wanted to know the age of the pumps. You've told us what the age is.
Yeah.
Are these mechanical failures or electrical failures?
The one is electrical failure.
Yeah.
The other one we don't know for sure.
Okay.
It's en route to the third pump is en route to the shop right now.
You mentioned the name of pump repair. Did you say Beaver Electric?
Beaver Electrical is the electrical for the electric pumps.
Okay, and they are a local firm?
They are on Vancouver Island.
Okay. All
You
right.
have to send it to that for warranty work. You have to send it to a certified shop for.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor
Oh,
Waddell.
let me one supplementary question. What is the expected lifespan of these pumps?
They should last like 15 years.
15 years, they should last.
Should last.
Do we keep they're all the same pump, I take it?
They're the same pump.
Do we keep a spare pump on the shelf ready?
We will now. We've never had an issue with the
Yeah.
pumps before. So we've yesterday we placed an order for a spare pump, whether it to replace one of these.
Yeah.
Or to but if it is needed to replace one, we're gonna order another one to have a spare.
Okay. Yeah, I asked that because I run some pumps myself and I find having a spare on site is invaluable if you want to keep the service going.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good
Only
idea.
having to use one pump, it never seemed an issue before. But
Okay.
now
Thank you.
So before we continue here, is there any further questions or comments to the fire chief?
Oh, no, not to the fire chief.
Everybody's finished with the fire chief. I think Chief Curtis would like to leave.
We don't see any.
Any other questions, councillors?
No, thank you. Not for me.
Councillor Jackson? Councillor Allen?
No, that's fine, thank you.
Okay, I just would like to thank the chief and I'll let you get on.
Thank you, Curtis.
Thank you,
Thank you,
guys. Have a
Curtis.
good day.
You too.
He's a corporal now.
Any further, just Councillor Vidal, you had your hand up?
Thank you, Mayor Wood. Given these updates from Acting Fire Chief and our staff, it seems to me that the situation is very well in hand. And in my opinion, a local state of emergency is not necessary at this time, and I would encourage the mayor to rescind the declaration of a local state of emergency. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councillor Allen?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, just on a technical point, I recall when the water system using the shallow intake of the lake was installed, that those pumps at the lakeside were pumping straight up into the reservoir, and I don't believe there were any lift pumps at that time, and I don't believe there was any filtration system. I'm concerned about the additional load being put on those pumps by the installation of the filters. I'm worried if that is something that was in the design, or are the pumps capable of handling that, or is that going to be overloading them? I didn't realize that the lake pumps are the pumps that are forcing the water through the filtration.
They force it through the filtration, but only and then into the break tank.
Yeah.
We have VFDs down in between the washrooms that reduce it down to 50 psi.
Yeah.
So they're scaled back. So
Okay.
so those pumps are capable of going right up to the reservoir,
Yeah.
but they're restricted at the membranes, so it just goes through to
Okay.
pumps into a break tank inside the building.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other further discussion?
I just have another comment. I also did reach out to our neighboring community of the city of Chilliwack to see if they have any spare pumps on hand. I haven't heard back from them. I would expect that if they did have anything available, they'd be happy to lend it, and then we can be up and running sooner than later.
Did we have any communication with the District of Kent at all on this?
I have advised the District of Kent of the order and that this meeting was happening. Ryan and the CAO, I forwarded the email that I sent to council.
Go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, since we have the Director of Finance here, I'd just like to ask, is this something that's in our budget for this year, or are we cutting into some emergency funds? And how much do these pumps cost? And how much are we liable to have to spend on this particular repair?
Yes, thank you through the Mayor Wood. This is not budgeted for this year. Each pump, correct me if I'm wrong, about 25,000.
Just under 26,000.
26,000. We do have some contingency funds available for this type of thing, to be pulled from reserve, but we've got the one pump on order right now. That will likely be good for this year. And then hopefully the other one is covered under warranty.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? So again, this meeting today for council is just for your information only. I'm not going to comment on any of your comments at this meeting today, but the state of emergency has been and will be declared. I will make note to council, because of the public nature of this, I remind all council members and staff members of the council policies with regards to social media, the media policies, emails, all correspondence on this matter must go through the mayor. Please refer any questions, comments from media or any other individual to the mayor. Thank you. Call this meeting an adjournment. Do I have a mover? Moved by Councillor Jackson, seconded by Councillor Allen. All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. So now we proceed to the next step.